Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sanctuary at Many Paths Spiritual Center. Happy holidays, everybody. And we kicked the holiday season off in the right form and fashion last Friday evening here with our Christmas holiday party. If you weren't there, oh my goodness, it was a blast. It was so much fun. We're going to start everything off this morning by singing a couple of songs back to back. So on behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill, and this is the Sanctuary Band. That's Jackie, Jackson, Daphne, and Mary Grace. Let's all stand up and wake up this morning. let there be peace on earth. All right. Thank you so much, y'all. Please sit down. Well, as I said before, welcome to the sanctuary. And when I say sanctuary, I mean sanctuary in the truest sense of the word. It's a place where we can all come and be free to be our true selves, our authentic selves, the selves we were when we first came into these bodies, the divine self, the Christ itself. So welcome, everybody. Let's peel back the layers today and remember who we really are, right? That little Christ child is born anew in us every day. So appreciate you being here this morning, taking the time out of your busy schedule to bring your energy to play with ours. We are a really fun, vibrant community. If you're here for the first time, you should definitely get to know us because, well, you know, we are some wild and crazy people. Yep. And as proof of that, I think we've got some announcements of stuff coming up. We've got some really cool holiday-themed stuff coming up. So everybody say hi to Kelly. You look like a snow bunny.
I do. Good morning, fam. Good morning. How is everybody? So this has been a wonderful weekend full of like connections with such wonderful people. And I have to give you guys a piece of advice that I took myself. Go through your phone, go through your contacts. There's that one person in your contacts that you're like, you know what? I need to reach out to that person. Like we've always been planning a lunch. We're going to go get lunch. We say we're going to go do this. Schedule a call. Mm-hmm. Schedule a call. Just, hey, on Thursday when I get off work at 7, let's call. I did that with my best friend from high school, and it made my absolute week. So that's my one piece of advice I can give you guys.
Holiday connections.
Yeah, it's been really great. I'm part of the crew that's going to India, so I'm trying to connect with as many people as I can before I go, just so I have that connection. So it's been wonderful. So here are our announcements. Announcements for Sunday, December 7th. Join Steph for Happy Class, Tuesdays at 6, where fitness meets fun. This Tuesday's class will feature Christmas yoga groove, followed with Jackie giving us a soothing sound bath. Yeah. So sign-ups in the front room. Come and celebrate the winter solstice. The Lord of the Light is honored and celebrated by creating a Yule log. This symbol of brilliance and hope will illuminate your path through the colder months. Sign up in the front room to create your own and mark this winter solstice in your life. Sunday, December 21st, after the service, with the sign-up sheet in the front room. Join us on December 24th at 6:30 p.m. for a special 1-hour traditional intimate Christmas Eve candlelight service. We will hear the Christmas story, sing beloved Christmas carols, and join together in the spirit of the season. This service is the perfect time to invite friends and loved ones to share in your spiritual community. All activities or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the weekly website, Happenings Google Calendar, or you can always email the church. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering statement is, I am contributing to the flow of good in the universe. In the spiritual dimension, energy is energy. There is no good or bad, right or wrong energy. It all depends on how we choose to use our energy. Where will we place our energy within the constraints of our time? How will we use our energy to give of our talents and knowledge? How will we translate the physical treasures that we have received into ways that make our world a better place? The universe operates through dynamic exchange. The energies of giving and receiving operate within all of us and are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. Our work is to recognize where we are in our life balance. Are we giving as much as we are receiving? Are we receiving as much as we are giving? In our willingness to give back, We keep the abundance of the universe circulating in our lives and adding to the flow of positive energy on our planet. For some of us, giving is easy and receiving is more difficult, but when we receive from all that life has to offer by graciously accepting the good that comes our way, we are contributing to the greater cycle of love, joy, peace, and abundance in our lives. Of course, this doesn't mean we should give because of what we'll get back, but when we give with a heart full of love and empathy, we provide gifts wherever we go and to whomever we meet. So practicing the law of giving and receiving can be as simple as this. If you want joy, give joy to others. If you want love, learn to give love. If you want more peace, be peace in every situation. Each time we do this, we make a positive contribution to the divine love that is the source of all good in the universe. Please repeat these affirming statements after me. I am open to receive all of the good that the universe has for me. I have an incredible capacity for living, loving, and giving. I am grateful for the opportunity to give back from the abundance that I have received. And so it is.
Oh, that's a good segue into our monthly mantra for the month of December. You know, our society focuses so much on the things that we give to each other. We are so commercial. That is the first thing that we normally think of is when I give to someone, what can I give in substance, right? But substance is a lot more than a thing, right? Substance can be kindness. Substance can be peace. Substance can be a smile. Substance can be joy. And that's what this song is about. It's called We Can Be Kind. I've known this song for a long time, but, you know, as we go through our life, we kind of forget things. And I heard this song back in the spring again for the first time in years. And when I heard it, I thought of you. I thought of this community and stuck it back in the back of my mind. I thought maybe we can work that in for the holiday season. So I want us to learn this song because it is so us, okay? You probably haven't heard it before unless you're a choir geek like me. It's a really popular choir song for choirs to do. It's super moving when a choir does it. But we're going to do it intimately. So you may not have heard it. We'll just hum along with us this time. If you know it, sing out loud. Let's all stand and learn We Can Be Kind. So many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same things. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? nobody understands. Future to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember one thing, that inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to talk about it, not enough to sing a song. We must walk the walk about it. You and I, do or die. We've got to try to get along. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Please be seated.
Isn't that nice? I want to make a little announcement before we go into meditation, because this is like perfect. Like the universe has perfect timing. So some of you may know Mallory and Nate. She's been with child. She has the two little bitty adorable boys, Eli and Leo. And baby Benny was born this week.
Good name.
Monday, little Bennett Avery. And so another beautiful, I know Steph was telling me this morning, she said, I'm probably going to have to beg her to give me that baby after a year. Yeah, for the kids. But anyway, I think they're watching today, so our best wishes to you all. And yeah. It will be nice to have little baby energy around here, won't it? Yes. So this is a perfect time of year to talk about little babies. And so I want you to kind of, I invite you to take a moment to settle into your own innocence. To close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and settle in your chair. Move whatever is carrying tension and allow it to relax. All of us started the same. Newly born, wriggly, carrying only about two things, most likely. Mama and milk. And we grew up and we started adding experiences and new understandings and language and play and school and work and relationships and certifications and degrees. And sometimes we forget that we are still blameless, precious, pure, adored by your sacred mother. The pride and joy of your Holy Father. And our work is to return to that. Our work is to take off all of the things that we've added on and remember who we really are. The precious newborn, the innocence, the peace, the pure love. I can imagine that a lot of what Mallory and Nate and the boys have been feeling this week is just pure love. And that is the way Source looks at you. That is how Spirit feels about you, just pure love. And I invite you for just a moment to sit in nothing but that love. To feel the maternal and paternal arms of sacredness around you. As you rest in who you were born to be. Love and peace. In the stillness. In the silence. There's a story, it's about 2,000 years old, about the birth of a little baby. And so the story tells us that that baby came to show us love. And you might think that you know what this baby's name is, but the truth is, it's every baby. It's little Benny. And it's Leo and Eli. And it's all those children out there in the youth ministry, and it's you, and it's me, and it's Ryan. It's everyone in the band. You see, we were all born to bring love to the planet. All we have to do
that's with us still today. If we seek Him, peace will find.
Let me see Him, let me be Him, in all I do and say. Let me hold Him closer to me every time I pray. For I know this child is made of nothing but pure love. Let that love be born anew in me each day. As we celebrate with joy this child, this holy birth, let us see the difference we can make as a child of God on earth. Let me see Him, let me be Him, in all I do and say. Let me hold Him closer to me every time I pray. For I know this child is made of nothing but pure love. Let that love be born anew in me each day. Let that love be born anew in me each day.
All right. They're staying up here. They're going to help me out in a minute, except you. I want you to go. I'm practicing my Nate Bargatze, right? You, get off the boat.
Everybody stare at Jackson.
All right, the back just fell off of this, so I'm going to hope it's going to, there we go. Let me put it back on here. Okay. No problem. No problem. All right, so we finished up a series last week called Being Human, and now we're going into a series for the month of December called Everyday Christmas. Everyday Christmas we're going to think about for the next month, and the first one is about the peace of simplicity. You know, simplicity is at the very heart of the story of the birth of Jesus. And I want to say right now, we have no idea what happened the night that Jesus was born. The day that Jesus was born, he could have been an afternoon baby. We don't know, right? We don't really know what happened. The first account of his birth was written in Luke, and it was written about 70 or 80 years after he was born. Luke came after Mark. Let's see, how did it go here? Mark started when Jesus was an adult. Then Luke started when Jesus was a baby. And then Matthew was written, which has all the begats, like showing his ancestry. And then John was like, how do we top that? So they said, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, right? And so it's a very simple story, though. Regardless, it doesn't really matter if it happened. Doesn't really matter if there was a little baby Jesus. Doesn't really matter if there were shepherds or wise men or any of that stuff. What matters is that it was the story that people gathered around. It was the story that people told that coalesced a group of people. And in that story, they chose to lean into simplicity, right? There was no room at the inn. Jesus was placed in a manger, which is the little thing that animals eat out of. It holds hay so that it's at kind of mouth level for the sheep and the goats and whatever, camels. And so then they placed that baby into that manger. The angels appeared to shepherds, common people. The angels didn't appear to the wise men until later. They warned them not to go back to Herod. But they didn't tell the wise men, you know what, the rich, wise people, you got to figure it out on your own. Get there on your own. But they went out to the most common of people, the shepherds, at night, tending their flock. And then they brought all these folks around to look at this baby for the sole purpose of looking at this baby. It was a very simple kind of thing. And so we want to talk about simplicity today. And to start us off, I'm going to sing a song. That's why they're up here. And so this is a song by Carrie Newcomer. It's one of my favorites, and I hope you enjoy it.
Holy is the dish and drain, the soap and sink and the cup and plate, warm wool socks and cold white tile, shower heads and good dry towels, and frying eggs sound like psalms, with bits of salt measured in my palm. It's all a part of a sacrament, as holy as a day is spent. Holy is the busy street, the cars that boom with passion's beat, and the checkout girl counting change, and the hands that shook my hands today. Hymns of geese fly overhead, spread their wings like their parents did. Blessed be the dog that runs in her sleep to chase some wild, elusive thing. Holy is the familiar room and quiet moments in the afternoon, folding sheets like folding hands to pray as only laundry can. I'm letting go of all my fear, like autumn leaves made of earth and air. For the summer came and the summer went, as holy as a day is spent. Holy is the place I stand to give whatever small good I can. And the empty page and the open book, redemption everywhere I look. Unknowingly we slow our pace in the shade of unexpected grace, and with grateful smiles and sad lament, as holy as a day is spent, and morning light sings providence, as holy as a day is spent.
Thank you guys so much. I love this song because it is so simple. And it outlines all of those little day-to-day things that we all engage in at each moment, right? To just kind of fold the laundry and think of it as a prayer. To see the holiness in the dog chasing something in its sleep. To see the geese flying overhead and understanding that as a hymn of praise, right, to the sky. So many of you are familiar with a saying by Thich Nhat Hanh about washing the dishes, right? There are two ways to wash the dishes. The first is to wash the dishes in order to have clean dishes. And the second is to wash the dishes to wash the dishes. Like, that is what's happening in this moment is the washing of the dishes. It's not about the outcome, right? Being present in the moment of each simple daily task. This is our life. It's not what we do in order to get to the living. This is our life. If we're cleaning a toilet, this is our life right now, right? If we're doing the dishes. I was born in the 60s, and I was a kid in the 70s, and I was in college and a young adult in the 80s. And the 80s, anybody remember the 80s? We used to say anybody remember the 60s. But anybody remember the 80s? They were, yeah, what did they call the 80s? You might remember what they called the 80s? The me decade. That was the me decade, right? We'd all had parents and grandparents. Let's see, in the 80s, we had grandparents who had fought in World War II. We had parents who'd either gone to Vietnam or, like, my entire family was ministers. I don't know if you know this or not, but ministers are exempt from drafts, right? So I have a long line of people who were holy rather than warring, right? They didn't go to war. But nonetheless, so we had these adults. We came back from World War II, and we invented plastic. Remember in the graduate, plastics. I got one word for you, plastics. And so we started growing into something a little bit different. And then we got to the 80s, and it was like, it was all about, right, the me decade. If there was one phrase, I hate to differentiate between genders. You know I hate to do that. But nonetheless, I'm going to do it here because it fits so perfectly. If there was one phrase that summed up the 80s for men, it was from the movie Wall Street, right? Gordon Gekko, when he says, greed is good, right? Greed is good. And all of a sudden, men had this permission to go and just become, I don't know, billionaires. Do you think we're still dealing with that today? A little bit of the aftermath of the greed is good, perhaps? And if there was a phrase for women in the 80s, it was this: having it all. This was the time when women were being told that they could have it all. There were books, and there were movies, and there were speeches, and there were people who stood up and said, you can have it all. You shouldn't have to choose. You can be a businesswoman and a mom. You can do it all, right? We had a good setup for this in the 70s with the Mary Tyler Moore Show. The producers had wanted to give Mary Tyler Moore a love interest that she would eventually marry, and she said, no, that's not her story. Her story is, I want it to be about her as a human being, her job, and her friends, which was the first time we saw an independent woman living alone as the center of her own story, right? So this whole me decade thing gave rise to soccer moms. The mom who had the woman who has to shuttle her children to all the different practices and rehearsals and lessons, because women who were taught they could have it all were teaching their children they could and should have it all. And the greed is good dads were encouraging this Susie and Johnny, or probably Ashley and Josh, right? They were encouraging all of this so Ashley and Josh could have the kind of college application that would get them into Harvard or Yale or Vanderbilt, so they could build a life crammed full of having it all, right? And so we just keep perpetuating this. And it took us a while to stop and ponder this question: do I really want it all? Or do I want a nap? Right? Maybe I just want a nap. We started to turn around twice and wonder, what is it that I really have? What is the all that I really have? Because, you know, simplicity is not deprivation, it's prioritization. And with having it all, we don't prioritize anything. I'm just in the act of pursuit all the time. Socrates knew this 2,500 years ago. And he said, beware the barrenness of a busy life. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. I just noticed there's a watermark on that picture. How embarrassing. That's all right. I'm going to let it go. How about that? You know what? I spent a lot of years of my life filling in the cracks with more lines on a to-do list. And then there were times when I worked 3 jobs out of what felt like necessity. There were times I filled in spaces with social gatherings and whatnot. And the more I focused on the doing part of life, the more it began to feel futile. I didn't know if this was a part of menopause or if it was just my life the way it happened, but there was a point when I hit about 50, there was a point where I thought, none of this means anything. I really hit that phase. Like, none of this means anything. It's all just futile. And you know what? Because I was focused on filling in the lines of a to-do list, because I was focused on the doing, what I was accomplishing in life, how many degrees had I earned, right? Where was I in my career? Because I was focused on the doing, it did feel futile, right? Just like the ruins of that temple. There were probably many, many years, 2,500 years ago, there were probably a whole bunch of Greek men who it was their life's work to build that temple. They were very, very busy building that temple. Hundreds, maybe thousands of stonemasons and laborers gave years of their life to this structure that is now kind of a historic pile of rocks. That's fine. I'm not saying it was pointless. I'm saying this too shall pass, right? All of these things go away. It felt so futile at one point that I began to lose some passion for my teaching. What did it really matter if Ashley and Josh, or now Tyler and Jalen? I'm not going to tell you which one's the girl and which one's the boy. They could be both. Either one. Tyler, Jalen, whatever. What does it matter if they know how to use commas and organize an extended argument? And so I had to simplify to remember that I wasn't teaching commas and extended arguments. I was teaching Tyler and Jalen. I was teaching Ashley and Josh, right? It became about the being. I had to remember what really matters. What really matters. So this was our Friday night holiday party. Some of the pictures, there were many pictures made that night. I think Steph had the wonderful idea of doing cheesy JCPenney photo studio photos. And there are a couple that were not safe for Sunday morning. So we'll leave those out. But that night was so beautiful, Friday night. And for those of you who were there, I don't have to tell you, those of you who weren't there, you were there in spirit with us, we know. And here's the thing, that we just enjoyed each other. We just enjoyed each other. And I was sitting talking to Margie at one point, and she kind of leaned over to me. She said, we built something good here. And I was like, yeah, we really have. We've built something good. And then she leaned over and she said, we've built family. And I mean, it landed so deep in my spirit when she said that, because the truth of the matter is that is what works in any organization. Even at my job, a lot of times we talk about the Vol State family, right? The more that you nurture that kind of connection between people who work in any organization, the more full and enriched it feels, the more successful it feels. And we've built family. We've done a really good thing. I mean, we can talk about building an organization like this in a lot of different ways. We can talk about building it in numbers. We can talk about building it in financial income. But I'll tell you, along the way, for the last couple of years, there's been something in my heart that I haven't been able to fully express with words, with language. But it was something along the lines of, what we're building here is not measured in that way, right? What we're building here is measured by all of the soundtrack that we create to our lives. Right? It's not measured in that way. And I was fine. As long as we kept deepening with each other, I was fine with that, right? It didn't matter. I would rather have people be drawn to us because of the connection we have with each other and decide they want to be a part of that than to have people just come and fill the seats for the sake of filling the seats, right? And so we've built that. We're not the family. That would be culty, all right? We're not doing that. But people who feel like family, and with any given family, you have all different kinds of people. You have people who are like, the brothers and sisters, really close, sometimes bickering with each other, but really close. But you also have, every family needs third cousin Walter who shows up to every other family reunion, right? And nobody's really sure what his story is, right? We need all of those kinds of parts of the family. The simplicity of connecting with one another. I love the fact that the party wasn't busy with a lot of stuff. There were things you could paint an ornament, you could get pictures made, but really it was just about being together. It was the simplicity of connection. And this simplicity that I think is so vital to our spiritual journey isn't just expressed or explored outwardly. The outward beauty of living a simple life is made most full when we remember our inner simplicity, right? So the simplicity of inner spaciousness. I've written a lot of words on here because I wasn't sure what to write, and I thought I'm just going to put it all. This is at the core of everything that I teach. It's the core of everything I believe spiritually. And that is returning to that inner spaciousness, a sense of kind of emptiness because we've removed all of the concerns and the worries and the layers and the personality and the face and the name and the job title and the sense of humor and everything about. And I'm just back to that sense of inner spaciousness, which is accomplished by removing everything that is not you. Remember when Muji talks about step into the fire of self-discovery, it will not burn you, it will only burn what you are not, right? It will only burn what you are not. And so that beauty of getting back to just who we actually are. If I can identify it, it's not me, because I'm the one identifying it. If I can see it come and go, it's not me. Anything that comes and goes is not me, because I am that which is timeless, that which was born innocent and pure. It's experiencing the emptiness that is the fullest state you've ever known. I have to tell you that when I successfully get to that point of just emptying out, I try to live from that space. Sometimes I fill it up with stuff. But when I get to the point of really emptying out, it's just, what happens for me is the tears come. The tears come every time. I was working on this talk yesterday, and the tears came because I was just open and just empty. It was the uncomplicated clarity of being. The spiritual path is simple. We complicate it over the years. We might say, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm currently into Buddhism. That's my thing, right? Have you ever read Michael Singer? You should read him. He's fantastic, right? You should look up Esther Hicks on YouTube. Oh, changed my life. I'm currently going to this workshop, this retreat, this ashram. Right? All of these are wonderful. All of these are fine. They're well and good. They're helpers on the journey at best. They're misguided side quests at worst. Unless you get into one of those cults, and then it might be a problem. But nonetheless, right? Don't let anybody tell you that you have to sign over your house to them, okay? That's just kind of a kind of good starting point. All of these experiences are things that can be set aside. I can be into Buddhism and I can be out of Buddhism. I can be, I'm really learning a lot from Michael Singer, and now I've read all his books, and I'm going to move on to someone else, right? All of these things can come and go. Let go of everything you can let go of to discover what cannot be released. What is the essence of you that cannot be released? The sacred essence of your being. It's the most simple, uncomplicated state. It's the essence of all religious ideas, all esoteric practices, all mystical complications. It's being fully present to all that is sacred. And in that moment of uncovering the sacredness of you, there is a sense of instantaneous connection to all that is sacred. It's like you just got plugged in, right? When we do this, when we do that successfully, we uncover the Christ light within. We birth the Christ child. We cradle divine innocence in the manger of our soul. Right? Think about that this week. I am cradling divine innocence in the manger of my soul. In Colossians, I know we're doing Paul lately. I'm not done set well with me either. but that's all right. Colossians 1:27 says, it's a verse I'm sure you've heard, talks about Christ in you, the hope of glory. Christ in you, the hope of glory. The Message says it this way: this mystery has been kept in the dark for a long time, but now it's out in the open. God wanted everyone to know this rich and glorious secret inside and out, regardless of their background, regardless of their religious standing. The mystery, in a nutshell, is this: Christ is in you. So therefore you can look forward to sharing in God's glory. It's that simple. That's the simplicity of the religious journey, is that who you were born in from the very beginning was Christ in you, Christ within you. I'm going to say this. This is what goes against my upbringing, because my upbringing would have said, no, you're born as a sinful little child. Sinful little child. And you need Jesus. And if you, in our church, 7 was the age of, like, by 7, you were responsible. Under 7, something happened, it's not on you. Age of accountability, that's right. You are now accountable for everything bad you've done, because you've already done so many bad things by the time you're 7, right? But here's the thing. Christ is a word, of course, that comes to us from the ancient Greek Christos, meaning anointed. Jesus was a man, Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus ben Joseph, and actually Yeshua ben Joe. I don't know what you say that, right? Right? And so Christ was not his last name. Christ was more like a title. It was more like Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma means great soul, the Mahatma Gandhi. His real name is Mohandas K. Gandhi. And so Christ is that same kind of title, and it just means anointed. And if you go look up anointing is a very simple, it just means to smear with oil. That's all it means. But on a deeper level, in a religious context, they would anoint a king before the king took power. It symbolized that someone or something had been empowered for divine service and was set apart for a holy purpose. We don't symbolically give birth to baby Jesus. That was the person. That was the individuation where we are not connected. The part we share is the Christhood, the anointing, and that anointed one is already who we are. We don't have to have an act to make it happen. You were born this way. Can we do Lady Gaga? There you go. We take off the layers and we live in the simple moments of each day as the anointed one. We do this to be free. With each thing we release, we uncover the freedom, the peace of simplicity. Let me tell you, it's so simple to me. Get empty, be free. Get empty, be free. Oh my God, I just discovered my bumper sticker. I'm copywriting that. Nobody can take it, all right? The Bhagavad Gita, I've said this before, you know, it says if you want to be truly free, perform all actions as worship. Washing the dishes, making the bed, folding the clothes. In another part it says this: when a man or a woman or anybody, right, when a man has let go of attachments, when his mind is rooted in wisdom, everything he does is worship, and his actions melt away. We let go, we let go, we let go. The actions, the to-do list melts away. I'm interested in being in every moment. The Bhagavad Gita says you have a right to your actions, but not to the results of your actions. You have the right to get up and be and do who you are, but then let it go. I no longer care how it turns out. You let go of any sense that an action can save you. And that's one of the things that was problematic. This is probably the thing I had to deal with the most as I was doing my own spiritual deconstruction. I was raised to believe that there was an action that could save you. You better bring your butt down to the altar and talk about what a horrible person you were, right? That was the act that was going to save you. You know what? Jesus and I had already figured it out on a different level because there was no action. I didn't need that. We love to poke a little fun at Joseph at this time of year. We like to make up stories about how Mary was probably really put out with him because he didn't, call the 1-800 number and have a room reserved, or, he didn't use Expedia and get all the things figured out with. But the truth of the matter is that he performed the actions each moment required of him. He went to Bethlehem for the census. He found what he could find as a shelter. Joseph's prayer was the prayer of service, right? And there's another aspect besides the to-doing, the do lists, that goes along this idea of simplicity. It's the idea of dealing with time, the deep simplicity of time. That sounds almost oxymoronic, doesn't it? The deep simplicity of time, because really most of the things that complicate our lives are around that watch we wear, right? I'm going to be late. I got to be on time. I'm meeting so-and-so at this time, right? This is what's got to happen. So it's all about choosing where our attention goes in each moment, being present even in the midst of following a schedule. It's hard. I do this all the time. I'm constantly thinking about what time I need to be somewhere. Can I just stop and be? Years ago, when email was first kind of a thing, I was teaching at TSU. I had a colleague who would put on his door schedule. It said 9 a.m. to 9:45, email reading and response. And I thought he was crazy. I'm like, what the heck? He's putting that on his schedule. Now I think he's brilliant, right? I think it's genius. It gave him the freedom to ignore emails for 21 hours and 15 minutes every day. Right? Right. Because then he just says, these 45 minutes are all about reading emails and responding. How carefully do you treat your time? You know who you really are. The Christ within is a timeless place. Right? The wisdom traditions are all ancient. You are timeless. You are from the timeless place. The spaciousness, the emptiness, the Christ within is a timeless place. But we live in a world of time. My niece, who happens to be named Ashley, by the way. My niece Ashley went through, a few years ago, she was doing this thing. She was kind of like Miss Fashion Queen and hair person and nails and all this kind of stuff. And she would get ready to go somewhere and she'd go, today I'm featuring my boot, right? Today I'm featuring my scarf. Everything was built around the scarf. That's how she would get dressed in the morning. What if we treated our time this way? Today I'm featuring the Christmas party. Everything else is around getting prepared for that. Today I'm featuring going to many paths. And then everything else can just be let go of, right? Because here's the thing, I didn't make this up, but it's been said before, slow is holy. It's a concept that's been around for many years in many wisdom traditions, all the way back to the tortoise and the hare, right? Slow is how we allow this physical being to practice being present in each moment. If I slow it down, then I'm present. If I'm late for a very important date all the time, right, which is how I tend to run around sometimes. I gotta go, like this. I have a healthy sense of urgency, remember, right, called anxiety. And so, right, and so slow is how we allow ourselves to be fully present. Slow is about the journey. Fast is about the destination. So just taking time with our own life. So everything stops when a baby is born. I'm sure Mallory and Nate would tell us that, right? Everything stops when a baby is born. Time stops. The to-do lists, meaningless right now. The stars stand still. The angels sing. Giving birth to new life is the simplest act wrapped in the complexity of pregnancy and labor and mucus and all that good stuff, right? But underneath that is the simplest, most natural thing that could ever happen, is a mother giving birth to new life. And just like our own spiritual journey, the simple act of finding the purity, the simplicity, the peace, the innocence that we are underneath the labor and the mucus of our lives. Finding the baby, right? Not throwing the baby out. We can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's who we are. Remembering that innocence, that essence is who we are. Outside of time and space, separate from your to-do list, independent of your wants and your fears, your expectations and desires, is divine innocence, and it is a simplicity called peace. Namaste.
so interesting that she would talk about that because our next door neighbors just had a baby last week, and I noticed that everything at their house just seemed to stop, right? And as I went out to the car this morning, I thought, I wonder when everything will start again, right? Because now they have 3 kids, all under, what, 7?
Oh, once it does restart, it goes in fast forward.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Before you know it, it's 10 years have passed, right? So definitely a beautiful, beautiful point to be made today. So I want to remind everybody that we've got so much going on to please check your What's Happening newsletter. Comes out on Tuesday to keep your calendar filled with all the cool stuff that's going on. Also remind everybody that your paper donations can go in the blue vase there at the back. If you want to give via PayPal, there's a PayPal QR code for you. And thank everybody again for coming out today. I know there's a bunch of stuff going on. Everybody is busy, so let's all stand up and say the closing prayer together as we go out and celebrate our holly jolly Christmas.
Okay, everyone together. May I stay true to the path that leads me to the light that is mine to shine. May my light provide help and kindness to others on their journey. May I bring peace to every situation, comfort to the grieving, and love to all beings. May my heart remain centered on what is sacred to my soul, and so it is.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best